welcome to my 2022 year-end recap video. That's a really long title, isn't it? This is something I have done my entire adult life, not making a video, but in January of the new year, looking back at the year that just passed and thinking about what I accomplished, what I didn't accomplish, and what I want to do for the current new year. So I'm going to share that with you because I think as we go through the day to day, things don't seem really significant. But when you look at an entire year and you add up numbers and you look at what you accomplished, it is a big deal. You did a lot more than you think you did. So this video has a few different parts. We're going to start with eBay, which is most relevant to you all, and then some other parts of my business, social media, podcasts, videos, my online school, and some personal goals that I achieved. So it changes from a goal to an achievement when you've done it. And that really gets me motivated for going into the new year with a positive attitude. And, anything is possible. You just have to decide you're going to do it. So that's what this video is about. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes with creating content, and that part can be pretty time consuming, but I'm really passionate about reselling and helping other people make more money on eBay. So let's get started with some eBay stats.
Okay, my 2022 year in review report starts with what's most relevant to my audience, of course, eBay. So here's what I look at. I like to look at my sales over the last year, and I'm going to show you the workflow to find this information so you can look at yours and maybe start keeping some records so that you know where you stand every month if you're not doing that, or just to know how to look back over the year and see what happened. So if you go under your Performance tab on your Seller Hub, you will see an option for sales. And then once you get to that page, you will see by default the time frame is the last 31 days. But we don't want that. We want the last year. Or if you check on this throughout the year, you have all these different options, or you can even do a custom date range if you want to look at a certain time period. So I chose last year, which is 2022. And you'll get a screen like this, and then you can generate that report. What I focus on is my sales price and profit per item. So let me emphasize that average sales price that eBay gives you is not profit. You need to calculate that. And to be completely transparent, this is eBay's number, and for me, it includes my books and calendars, which I know none of you out there sell. But later in this report, I'm going to give you numbers based on my record keeping for thrifted, garage sale type items, because that is what my audience is selling. Also, eBay's average sales price includes the shipping cost of the item. And this is why it's important to keep your own records so you know what your profit is. eBay doesn't back out the shipping cost, and they don't know what you paid for something. So they can't give you a profit number. Only you know that, and that's something you need to track if you want to know what it is. So looking back over the year, I sold a total of 478 items. These are thrifted / garage sale type items with an average profit per item of $24. And yes, I had some crappy months. In September, I sold so many items, 88 items, because I auctioned off a lot of my inventory in preparation to move from Atlanta to Greenville, South Carolina. Now, I look at these numbers and I know I can do better. I look at the slow months and they absolutely correspond with projects like writing books and preparing to move and getting moved in and all of that extraneous stuff that has nothing to do with eBay. Now that my life is reorganized and I'm settled, my day is more time efficient, and I'm also getting inventory a lot cheaper. So I am 100% sure I can improve these numbers in 2023. And I don't really have a goal in mind. I only want to continue to improve each month. So I track this all year, and a year from now, we'll see how those numbers compare. I've also started keeping this chart in an Excel spreadsheet to track how many items I list and end and restart each month. And you will see those numbers in my sales update videos in 2023. This is just an experiment to keep myself accountable and see what is possible for me. I'm sure at some point the law of diminishing returns will kick in and I will hit a wall on what is possible for one person. And just a side note, throughout the years, and 2023 will be my 20th year on eBay, I have experimented with ways to list more items each month. The big one was hiring people. But I feel it is better for my business that I list the items myself. One reason is that I learn so much by listing my own items, especially if it's something I've never listed before. So I want to do that. And that knowledge can be used for teaching and sharing with the eBay community so everybody knows more and everybody can make more money. So it is important that I list my own items. Another reason that I stopped hiring help was that I would get someone trained and they would work for a couple of weeks and then they would decide they don't like it, they'd find a different job, all kinds of reasons. But I would have to start over again with finding, screening, and training someone to list my items the way I want them listed. Trust me, I spent a lot of time trying to create a system for this. And unfortunately, there is an unavoidable factor as an entrepreneur that hiring help and maintaining employees is a huge time suck. A lot of my time went into doing tasks that were not income producing. It was investing time in other people that did not pay off. Also, I'm really picky about my listings because I know I have so many people watching my store. At this point, I have over 6,000 people watching my store, which is fine. My store is set up as a teaching store, but I am aware that many people are only looking at my store to learn about eBay, not necessarily buy items. And with 6,200 followers, I want my listings to be correct. And I don't take shortcuts like people I have hired have done over the years. So this really is a case of if you want something done exactly the way you like it, then it is best to do it yourself. Plus, I love the reselling business. So listing is fun for me. I don't hate it. A lot of people hate that part of it, but I don't. So that's why I don't have anyone helping me. I'm a one woman show and will continue to be that because I have already been down that road of hiring people to grow my business, and it's just not something I want to do anymore. I don't want to manage people. I want to be out there picking great items and selling them and teaching the eBay community how to make more money. That's what I want to do. And if you aren't following me and you want to, just click the little heart by Save Seller and you can watch what I list, what I sell, how I do my listings. My store is set up as a teaching store by design. And then one more side note. I'm actually reading this book called Atomic Habits that addresses how small, actually tiny, changes add up over time. And it's not just about habits in business, but habits across all facets of your life. And the concept is that you may not feel like you're doing much in the moment, but if you make tiny changes and develop habits, you will see big changes over time. And it's really an interesting book. It was published in 2018, and I'm just now getting around to reading it. Anyway, the strategies and principles in this book have inspired me to make some tiny changes in 2023 and see those effects over the entire year. So, if you're interested in that type of book, I highly suggest Atomic Habits by James Clear. The next thing I look at on eBay is my service metrics. I actually look at these probably twice a month. I just I just like to be on top of where I am. So you can find your service metrics under the Seller Hub overview on the left-hand side of the page. And once you click that, you will get to a page like this. And the current rate there that says December 2021 through November 2022 is the most current time frame. And this can vary based on how many items you're selling, but I fall in that category where they look at an entire 12-month period. So I'm looking at my return rate here, and the category is clothing, shoes, and accessories because that is the category with the highest return rate. I don't get returns on my books and calendars or vintage items or plush, and I really focus on selling items that don't get returned. So that is working out. I had 2 returns over a 12-month period, which I think is more than acceptable when you're talking about clothing, shoes, and accessories. I sold 334 items over that 12-month period, and my return rate is 0.6%. So I am still below the average, below my peers, so I'm really happy with that. The reasons for return were items not as described. However, in looking at the specific transactions, I see that yes, the items were as described, and these 2 buyers know the eBay system where if you choose item not as described, you get free return shipping. So anytime I get a request for a return, I either just refund them if there's a problem with it, or, if I don't paid $1 for it, if I don't want it back, or I say, yes, we stand by our return policy, just return that. Most of the returns are because the item doesn't fit, and that's just an occupational hazard. When you sell clothing, shoes, and accessories, you're going to have that issue sometime. The next thing I look at is my seller level. That is also on the left hand side of the page on your Seller Hub, and what this means is, are you top rated? Are you top rated plus? And it shows your tracking uploaded percentage and cases closed without seller resolution. And there's really never a reason to have that. Anytime you have a case, you need to address it and solve it as quickly as possible, because that can definitely hurt your account if you allow cases to close without trying to resolve the problem. My defect rate is 0, so very happy with that. And the health of my account is really important to me. I am not top rated plus because I do not offer 1-day handling. And for my business, I like it that way. I have 2-day handling. That takes some of the stress off if you have a whole bunch of sales overnight, and then maybe you've got a dentist appointment the next day where you're going to be there for 3 hours, and you're like, oh no, I got to get my stuff shipped because I have 1-day handling, and it just didn't work for me. I don't like that extra layer of stress in my life. I like having 2 days, so I'm willing to sacrifice that 10% discount to have a more peaceful life, to have a more manageable business where I don't have to stress out about shipping things in 1 day. Another statistic I like to track is feedback. I estimate only 1/3 of buyers leave feedback. It may even be less than that. And again, the health of my eBay account is very important to me, and every transaction matters and every customer matters because these are real people we are working with, and I want them to be happy. I am proud to report I received only 1 neutral this year and no negatives. And neutrals don't affect your total feedback score. At the moment, my feedback is 100% positive. That neutral feedback was from another seller who purchased a BOLO book and was angry that she didn't find anything in it immediately. I can't control what you find when you are out thrifting in the wild. So she was upset that she didn't see instant results from purchasing that book, and I offered for her to return it. I would pay for her to return it. I want to get that book in the hands of somebody who's going to use it and make money from the information, but she was very uncooperative. So we all have stories like that, and there's nothing you can do about it if it's just somebody that you can't please them. Clean bill of health on the feedback. I'm at 100%, and I'm very happy with that. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at is my YouTube channel because, hey, you're watching it right now. I created and uploaded 91 videos in 2022, so I did stay consistent with adding new content most every week. And according to YouTube analytics, my videos got 348,890 views in 2022. And I am well aware that I have a small YouTube following compared to other resellers. And I realize that my channel content is more for learning than entertainment. So those kind of channels are always going to get fewer views. Some creators get this many views on one video. But if you think about it, PBS has a much smaller audience than channels that focus on entertainment. Their viewers are just different, and I'm aware of that. So as long as people are watching my videos consistently and commenting, and I see that they like the content, I am going to continue with this. Okay, podcast. I am very proud to be able to truthfully say that I did not miss a week in 2022. I added 52 episodes, and all of the episodes in 2022 were seller interviews. The podcast really took off in 2022, and I am so pleased that the eBay community likes the content. Also, an added benefit is that I had so much fun meeting all the guests, and this format will continue in 2023. Every seller has a different story, and I think we can learn from each other's stories. It just makes us smarter sellers. And I'm going to throw this out there. If you think you might like to be a guest on the podcast, please reach out to me and we can discuss if your story is a good fit for my audience. You can reach out to me on Facebook or email me at suzanne@suzanneawells.com and we can talk about it further and see if you're a good fit for my show. Okay, moving on to the premium library. What did I do there in 2022? I added 106 videos, which is 25 hours of education. Currently, the premium library has 560 videos with 149 hours of watch time, and that is as of January 2nd, 2023. One thing I am passionate about is not raising the price for my online school. I can't tell you how many emails I got in 2022 from subscriptions that, we're raising our monthly subscription $5. Hulu raised their price. Audible raised their price. I could go on, but I don't like that because I think that's just greed. Why does Netflix need to raise their price? They have millions of subscribers, and raising the price across the board is just millions and millions of dollars for them to do nothing. The subscription price for the premium library is $20. It has been $20 since I started the premium library in 2018, and this price will not increase. As eBay sellers, we have enough things to pay for. So my mission is to make this subscription affordable and provide value that's going to help you make more money. And if you don't know what's in the premium library, you can go to the link below the video and look at the table of contents. You can download that for free and see everything that's in there and decide if it's for you. Also, I still have the free trial going on, so if you look below the video, you can find the information on that. And I challenge you to try it just for a month. You can download as much as you want, and you also get the help desk service where you are asking me questions. I answer every question. I don't hire anybody to do that. So that's valuable in and of itself, just the help desk service, which you always get an answer in less than 24 hours. Okay, moving on to the BOLO book. Created the second BOLO book, which sellers are loving. You can take a look at my eBay feedback and see what other sellers are saying about the BOLO book. And not every seller who purchased one left feedback, so keep that in mind. But so far, so good on that, and I'm so glad it's helping you make more money. I also created the second interactive calendar, and the same story here. You can check my eBay feedback and see what other sellers are saying about this item. Again, another educational product that's going to help you make more money. And I finished and published my memoir. It took me 2 years to write this book, and it was more of a personal goal, which became a personal achievement rather than an income stream. This book is very personal. From your feedback, I have learned that the average person can relate to many of the situations I found myself in, but nobody knew all this was going on behind the scenes. And that's usually the way it is. People only let you see what they want you to see. But this book tells it all, so I told the good, bad, and the ugly. And I sell my memoir in my eBay store, so you can check out the feedback on that. So far, so good. I appreciate everyone who purchased a copy and read it and left feedback. That means a lot to me. Okay, and finally, the last big accomplishment of 2022 was moving to Greenville, South Carolina. Moving can be a huge time suck and it can be pretty disruptive, but all of the reasons I chose to move are going to make my life better, which I've explained all of that in previous podcasts and videos, so I won't go over all of that again, but I can say this was one of the best decisions of my life. I am so happy here. Everything has fallen into place, and I see great things happening for me in the years to come.
Okay, after making that video and watching that video, I feel like I was pretty busy in 2022. So I hope you enjoyed that and it motivates you to write down what you accomplished in 2022 and what goals or plans you have for 2023. Because when you write these things down, whether it's on a pad of paper or on a document on your computer, however you want to do it, that makes it more real. And then you're accountable to attempt to achieve those goals. And once you do, there's no stopping you. So let's all have a great 2023. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.